Arts and Culture Commission meeting for December 6, 2023. If Sarah Lang, our commission secretary, if you would do us the honor of taking roll.
Sure can. Tom Sonic,
Here.
Carrie Netto. Here. Amanda Black,
Here.
Stacy Maher,
Present.
Lisa Ritchie,
Here.
C. Yang,
Here.
Cecilia Garacki, Lisa Wong.
Here.
Wonderful.
And Sarah Lang. We got a full house. Thank you, Sarah. All right, adopt the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look through the agenda? Any thoughts or reactions, questions? If not, if anyone would like to make a motion to adopt the agenda as is?
So moved.
C, thank you. Anyone want to second that?
I will.
Second that.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go
Nope.
ahead, Lisa Ritchie.
Go ahead.
No, you're.
This
give
is
it to
one of your
Stacy.
last times.
Last meeting. All right, the agenda's adopted. Approval of minutes. Anyone have any questions about anything in the minutes that you would like to correct or edit, change? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Minutes look great. I would like to move to approve them.
Thank you, Carrie.
Seconded.
Amanda seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I don't think we voted on the adopt agenda, did we? All those in favor of adopting the agenda as is, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, sorry about that, Sarah. Forgot to vote. Meeting open to public, we have no one here. So we move on. Public hearings, we have none. Commission business action items and recommendations. So, Commissioner recognition, and we have A, Cecilia Garacki, and B, not listed here, is Stacy Maher. So, we would like to take a moment to recognize our outgoing commissioners. So our student commission, Commissioner Cece. And our commissioner, one of our founding commissioners, Stacy. Stacy. So, Cece, first of all, thank you for your presence. It's been great that you've been here, and you've been an active member on the group. I mean, it's been good that you've spoken up and had things to say and added to the discussion, and it's been valuable to have you here, so I appreciate that you're doing this. And now you are on the school board.
Yeah,
And did you just start on the school board?
in September,
Okay, so now you're going to run that for a year and
2 years.
2 years. Wow, well, that's a longer commitment.
Yeah.
And then, well, you got to wait till you're 30 till you run for president. What do you see yourself doing? Or is it 35?
35.
35, oh, yeah. So what do you see yourself doing between, that's a lot of time in between, 18 and 35.
College.
Oh, good.
Time? Yeah.
Well, undergrad, grad school, PhD, go back, get an MBA,
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Run for president.
yeah, then run for president.
Easy. Yeah. Yep.
And you're a junior right now, though, right?
Yeah.
So then you being on the school board will take you through your senior year. Okay. So tell me about your experience here on the Arts and Culture Commission. Did you enjoy your time here, or are you just glad that it's done and,
No, I had a lot of fun, and I love doing this kind of stuff. I think we do some really fun events.
good? Good. Well, we appreciate you being here and all the help that you gave us throughout this past, was it a year? When did you start exactly? A little over a year?
February? Yeah, a little under.
A little under a year. Oh, okay. Well, next time, I think we'll have to set up the student thing as a 2-year commitment, then we'll keep you hanging around longer. Well, thank you, Cece, appreciate everything you've done.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, Stacy, founding member of the Arts and Culture Commission. When did we start? How many years has it been now?
2021.
Wow. So, we've come a long ways, I think. And so I can't believe that you're, like I mentioned earlier, that you're not going to stick around to reap the glory of the launch of Project Snowy.
I don't need to reap the glory because it's a collaborative effort, and I am happy to share that with others.
Good answer, good answer.
Yep.
Any thoughts on your time with the commission and What-
It's been a fun, wild ride.
Yeah.
It's great. It's for people in the community, if they want to get involved, this is a fantastic group to be a part of because of the high amount of action that takes place. It's cool. I mean, we already have things around
Yeah.
town since we've started that people can
Yeah.
appreciate, and the community involvement that this commission has been responsible for has been promising. So I'm excited to maybe become a member of the public.
citizen?
Yeah,
A regular
citizen.
Well, Stacy, appreciate all that you've done, especially to help us get started. Building that foundation took some time, and yeah, it has been great, especially in this past year, to see the fruits of our labor starting to show up in the community, from everything from the art cart and the I want to say the fall festival, but that's what do we call it? Our arts festival. That's yeah.
Yep.
How quickly it just goes out of your mind, right, Amanda? And the snowy and the utility boxes and all these things, and it's all just, we're starting to see the presence of the work of this commission in the community. And it doesn't just happen overnight. There's a lot of work that went into building that foundation, and you were part of all that. So appreciate all your time, effort, and energy to make these things happen. And we'll be thinking of you as we get those snowies out there on the streets.
Wonderful.
So, thanks for everything. Appreciate both Stacy and Cece. So what I'd love to do is get everybody standing here in front of the dais so that we have the North St. Paul thing in the background. We'll get some pictures with the whole group.
Right now.
Right now, yeah.
Oh my God, I did not.
How's my hair?
Here or in?
Are you going to be able to get us without the TV? Okay. Nice. Wow, look at that group.
We're talking Sarah. Yeah.
I like your bag, Amanda. We're discussing the difference between hot dish and casserole today. And my coworker from Wisconsin, I don't know what it is, people from Wisconsin.
Careful.
Are you from Wisconsin? What? Oh, I knew there was something funny about you. No, but I said, she said, well, we grew up, it was always casserole. And I said, well, surely you didn't say tater tot casserole. And she said, indeed we did.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's the one dish that I'm like, it has to be tater tot hot dish. Other ones, fine, you can flip flop, but tater tot has to be a hot dish.
well, there's just such great alliterative quality to those words together. Tater tot, hot dish,
I have a sticker that says hot dish is my love language.
Nice. Anyway, moving on. So, anyway, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Cece. Appreciate all that you've done, and we'll miss you. So, well, Stacy can still participate, and Cece as well, in our final updates from our subcommittees, our final for the year. Are there any updates on Project Snowy?
There is on my end,
Oh,
so I can start first.
okay.
We've had a couple of artist submissions. I sent those out to the subcommittee. And then I actually spoke to Hart from Tivoli 2, and he did ask if we have a couple of snowies already purchased, if we could actually make that purchase with Tivoli 2 now. so they can start making them. He said in the springtime, they get super busy with sculptures and they don't want to fall behind. So if they can pre-make a couple for us, they'll hold them until we're ready for them. So I wanted to make sure with the group, we have 2 sold already. If everybody's okay with us.
We've
Buying
already
2 for
collected
now.
that money in order to.
Yes.
oh, Then fine, yeah.
Okay. But otherwise, that's my update.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
We haven't met as a subcommittee in a while.
Okay.
With the artist submissions, I guess now C and I will meet, and we need to connect with Citizen Furlong about
Yeah.
heading out.
Has anybody reached out to him since last month?
I thought I saw in the minutes that he was tapped already. Is that not true?
He reached out to me. He had been,
Ready to, but
You're ready to
our
talk.
subcommittee has not followed up with.
I
Okay.
see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
so do one of you want to take that away to reach out to Terry?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need any contact information?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll send you contact information. But yeah, he's ready, expecting a call anytime and can help with getting more of those purchases.
That sounds good.
On my end, it may.
And then when we did the original call for artists, we said that we were gonna lump them in with the new round of artist submissions. Did that happen, or do we need to do that?
I can still do that if that's the direction.
Just wanna make sure that it's not lost.
Okay.
I can send you those.
I'd like to reach out to some of those people and ask if they would like to resubmit rather than just use their prior submissions as well, because we changed the application a little bit.
Okay. Murals, no update there unless Carrie or, nothing? Okay. Utility boxes, any update here?
No boxes, no updates, but the intention is that, since there's only $168 left in the budget, I believe we will wait till next year to continue the project work and include some collaborations or work with others. And so I did want to ask if some thoughts around, like with the remaining $168 and knowing that we did wrap a few boxes already, did we want to consider like purchasing stickers, whether that's like QR codes or ACC logo or something to kind of like, advertise or promote some other stuff. So stickers can be cheap, so we could talk more about that another time, but put another.
Well, we would have to,
Budget, it needs to be
Yes.
we would
now.
have to make a call on that
That's
tonight,
true.
yeah, because this is our last meeting of the year. We can certainly say you can use up to the remaining amount in that budget for purchasing of, if you have an idea for Arts and Culture Commission stickers or something like that,
That,
kind of a
Yeah.
branding thing.
yeah, branding,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like the general ACC logo as a sticker,
like something
Yeah.
like that size or something.
Right.
3x3-ish.
Yep. Sure, could be useful for different things,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we could purchase,
Couple hundred of them.
15.
Oh,
I don't know, 100.
yeah, I know you
Sure.
can, I've had stickers made before, that sticker mule, or there's different company just going, it doesn't cost that much.
Yeah.
Your app is really
Yeah.
good.
Sticker app.
Scrap, yeah.
And looking at the logo, we should make sure that it's, true to the dimension, like the proportion. So maybe not square, but definitely not a circle.
So Sarah, they could, so if our utility box group gets together, they could make a decision on that? And then just reach out to you to make the purchase?
Yes, as long as we vote today that you're okay using the money towards stickers.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion if the utility box subgroup finds some stickers that they would like to make, that they can use up to $168 remaining in the budget for that purpose.
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Stacy,
Seconded.
second by somebody. You got it? Was it, who was it?
Stacy
Amanda?
and Amanda.
Oh, okay. Stacy and Amanda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, great. Anything else utility box related? Okay, Art Cart, any updates here?
No, that has been put in storage
Yep,
for the winter, so we don't have any updates there, other than thank you for ordering the supplies. That is awesome.
Great.
Looking forward to that next year. We should probably talk about ramping up for soliciting for volunteers for next summer. I'd like to get that out earlier because we really didn't
Yeah.
have any last year, so whatever we can do to push that. Amanda and I can maybe meet on that and figure out a game plan of what we can do and how we can get that promoted.
For the volunteers?
gotcha. Okay, how about, what do you call this now? Paint night?
Yes,
Paint and sip is now
Yes.
paint night?
I love paint and sip, but I think we were advised to not promote the sipping, although we certainly are allowed to.
So we had an idea to have a paint and, or sip and weld, where people would drink wine and weld with acetylene torches and be fun.
Is that at your house?
Yeah.
Glass blowing.
You could do sip and blow, yeah.
Just throw that in there.
Glass blowing, that's a great idea. Councilmember Wong suggests glass blowing with wine. Thank you, Councilmember Wong.
As far as the paint night goes, unfortunately, the month of December got away from me. I've been very busy. I took a new position, so I did not get another paint night scheduled in December, so we're shooting for January. And with that being said, if you can just let me know what some dates are, and Carrie, you're always very willing to help out, so looking forward to doing that. And also would like to bring up the discussion of, previously it was mentioned that we'd like to open it up to artists to host.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see what we can do to move forward. I know I'll be traveling for work, so I don't know really far in advance what my schedule's gonna be. So it would be good if we have
Yeah.
other people that can step in.
And Sarah, did we have any, or Lisa Wong, do you know if we've had any budget approved for that yet? Like, do we know what?
I think that's next meeting, right?
Yeah, we'll certify next meeting.
Next meeting, okay.
But I think this budget is fine. I don't, there's no contention about it.
Oh,
Or,
okay, great. Well, then, so I know we tried to set some money aside for that, so if we're thinking ahead, Lisa Ritchie, I'm trying to see, 2024. Oh, well, that was in the events budget. And we had asked for 2,500 in that budget, so we can think about how we might use that money to pay artists then.
Here's another thought. Being as that if I understand correctly, the amount isn't gonna be specified in the fee schedule for what the paint night will cost, would it be beneficial for us to advertise it that they can charge what they want and they get that money, and what we do as the art council is provide the space and the advertising?
And the supplies.
The only thing that I'd have concern about that with is creating financial barriers to access. When this first launched and we were advertising it at $25 and $30, even though it was well-run, it was still not as like popularly attended, right? And maybe it's because it was new, but I still think that our community benefits from minimizing financial barriers towards participation.
Well, we could, hopefully my goal would be to still be able to host some myself, but just have someone else available. So we'd have that as an option.
Yeah,
I don't want to do away with the $10 paint night classes.
yeah,
Starting to ramp up.
I like the idea of, if we, well, so, because what do we do with the money that we take in for the cost for people to participate?
I think it just goes back into the general fund.
To the general fund? Okay. And I think, so ultimately then you could say that it comes back to the event budget in a way, because by putting it back in the general fund, we're making more money re-available. Just sort of like, because when the artist fees for the arts festival, those go back into the general fund then as well? Right. So these things, when you see the autumn, the budget for the Autumn Arts Festival or Paint and Sip, it's not all pure expense. We get some revenue coming back from that. But I kind of like the idea of just saying to artists, like, here's a flat fee, we'll pay you, you don't have to handle any money. We take in money from the residents, and that just goes back into helping us do this again in the future. Because then we can always control the price, too.
Sure.
Because if an artist comes in and says, yeah, it's $50 each for people to come in and do this thing, and then you might get nobody.
I did recently see a paint night at a distillery.
Hmm.
$38, so that's kind of the going rate.
Mm. Yeah, and I think, I think with us, we have an opportunity to keep that price lower because it's a city-sponsored event.
Yeah.
And I don't,
And I don't think that the artist takes home the $38 per registry without having expenses. So the artists usually that run those events carry the expense of buying the supplies
Yeah.
and all that. So giving them a flat fee, if it was $25 a head with 10 people and $250 for a night, that's supportive of artists in the community.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea. I just think it's the only problem is the financial barrier that could create for the public.
right. So one thing I think we'd have to think about, Lisa, is like if we were to put out some sort of call for artists or whatever to have, local artists who would come and teach people how to paint or whatever. And I wonder, could it be other than painting? Could they do other things? I don't know, but,
Well, we wouldn't have the supplies out.
right. But we'd have to, but I think we could, if we do that, then we're gonna have to think too about who can those people be or not be? Are there any conflict of interest? Because we have a lot of artists, probably involved in city stuff already right now, like you, like Amanda, and,
Right, it definitely could not be a commissioner.
right,
because that's-
people on other commissions and things like that who are artists.
So when I get off the commission, would it maybe?
Then we'll pay you, yeah,
And I'm happy to volunteer in the meantime,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, so as long as you're on the commission, you only get your regular paycheck.
I
You-
will
nothing
graciously
extra.
accept that.
Okay,
Something I'm passionate about, so.
so good, something to think about, but I think that would be fun to get some different community artists in and have them lead, just do different things.
So
Uh,
how do we promote the call for artists? Is that something that Carrie would,
For that,
yeah, for paint nights?
yes, yep, Carrie would do that.
So maybe I think what we should think about is what's the program look like for a year? And if we got $2,500 to budget for that, what is it, do we have 5 of them and we got $500 for each one to spend and for artists and supplies or whatever?
Well, is that event, that would also include the market, the fall festival?
The events budget includes the Autumn Arts Festival and Music in the Park and
And paint and sip is a separate line item,
Oh, it is, that's good.
Yeah.
So there's
Paint night.
2,500 for,
just for paint night.
okay, and we're stocked up on supplies for a year, you think?
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Aside from the tablecloths, we would have to get, but they're not really expensive.
Well,
No,
we could potentially, like you say, if we called it art night or something like that, you could potentially say, well, we're gonna use some of the money to buy clay,
Yep.
and we're gonna have somebody come in and show people how to,
Killing me, Tom.
I'm kiln you?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Wow, that was a good one. That was.
I like your thinking, Lisa. Yeah, but I don't know, there's just, how do we wanna, now that there's actual money to to play with, there's, you know, where do we want to go with that? And how can we, you know, make this bigger and make it, and, you know, maybe get more, keep building the interest, right?
I know plenty of artists who do workshops around the state,
Great.
but yes, they do charge more than the $10 a head because, like both Stacy and Lisa have said, they provide supplies and whatnot. But
Right.
some artists who I've seen will do like house portraits, where if you send in the picture of your house or whatever house you want to paint, they'll prep the paper for you and teach you how to paint your own house.
Oh, neat. That's a great idea.
I like that, the rock mandalas are big.
Yeah.
So we could maybe,
The what?
the mandalas, where you paint it with the dots.
Oh, okay.
So did anyone else notice that all of our rocks are gone? She moved them, she put it on Facebook, some lady
Oh.
was cleaning up the garden, and she's like, whoever put these here, just so you know, they're over here. So
okay.
I'll send you the post.
And they're at my desk right now. So we have them.
Safe place for the winter.
Yes, so I didn't know if we wanted to like try to keep those and keep them for next year, if we want to reuse them and paint like white over them, reuse them, something to,
I would like
Good
to
idea.
keep them, that's my personal
Perfect.
opinion, and add to the collection.
Yeah.
wonderful, yeah, that's great.
So more rocks in your office.
More, yes, it's fun.
Uses them to defend herself against angry residents.
You never know, I'm the first person you see when you walk in City Hall, so.
You got
I need 'em.
stuck with that?
Yeah.
Scott? Okay, Arts Festival, obviously nothing there. So student members, I know we've been advertising. Have we gotten any hits on that, Sarah?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So if we have more strategies to try to get that, I'm open to that.
I know Carrie sent an email to the superintendent to try and help push that as well. And I wonder maybe if talking to some of the art teachers at school would help.
I should maybe create some flyers.
Whatever it was that he sent to the school was just sent to the art teachers. Like, it wasn't sent to everyone.
Mm.
I talked to Mr. Wolf about that, so, thank you.
Does Carrie create the flyers?
There is a flyer currently. I can also send that out to everybody too, but there is a flyer that was made for the last round, so we're just reusing it, and then we added a QR code to it as well.
Did you post it on Peach Jar?
No,
That's what the district loves.
I know you love it. I don't know if Carrie did, but I'll add that to the list for sure.
Could a student council member post it on our email? I'll like repost it, for sure. That'd be helpful.
Thanks, CC.
I had a question. Does the high school have an art club?
You should start it.
Among the
everything else.
million other things
Yeah.
she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, good, I don't know. You know, my son is really into ceramics, and so I think there's a kind of a club that is been tasked with, so they're all trying to make like a ton of mugs, like coffee mugs, and then they'll sell them in the school store.
Really?
Yeah, so that maybe is a group that could be.
I guess selfishly, I was kind of coming back to my my utility box wrap committee. Just to ask about like collaboration opportunities, like say because we want to wrap that utility box outside of the high school, but you know, like one option is to get community involvement and also like, you know, high school involvement, but then
Yeah.
like would it also just behoove us to work directly with like an art club
Yeah, right.
and just get that kind of, yeah.
Good thinking.
So North High does have an art club. The advisors are Brian, Rita, and Melissa Mandel. Their emails are available on the ISD 622 North High School Art Club page. Do you know them? Did I butcher their names?
Are those teachers or students?
Yeah.
Teachers?
They're
They still have a photography class? Mm-hmm. But do they use film?
Maybe?
No, they don't?
Can you even buy it
Probably.
anymore?
They probably do. It's probably part of the curriculum.
Then they probably do.
Yeah.
That's where I first did it. Mhm.
So there used to be, when I was in high school, there were cameras that you would put film into this. It's like a small camera was like a like a brick-sized box. You put this film in there, and then you take it out in a dark room and expose it.
And you can't see your pictures until you developed them.
That's right. World has changed. Anyway, sorry. Okay, that's it for subcommittees then. So update, or culture in ACC projects. Do we have any update from that subgroup? No update? Okay. 2023 budget recap. Sarah, do you want to take the lead on this?
Yeah, so it's pretty similar to what we discussed last time. I just updated it for what, after we spent money from our last meeting, but basically, just to discuss if there's any other purchases for 2023 we'd like to make using the remaining budget, which is on the right-hand side,
Page
Totaling-
15.
yeah, $2,500. So if there's anything else we're interested in, we can talk about it now. Yes, we were talking about that, and I'm not sure if anybody had a chance to do any research on those or anything. I haven't yet. But Public Works did confirm they don't have a sprayer or a booth that would work for. They do not big enough. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a paint sprayer pretty cheap, but I think part of the thing too is, would we have long-term use for it?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to purchase something just for the sake of one project.
Right.
And it's kind of like it's similar to how we were talking about the sound system for the Autumn Arts Festival. It'd probably be better off just renting something. So even if I think you could probably rent a paint sprayer too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I wonder if we could.
Go down to
Cheney?
Haney Rental,
Haney?
yeah.
I would still really like to throw the idea into the ring that we have Tivoli 2 do the clear coat. And I know we've gone back and forth on this, but my biggest, so we may have a total of 5 snowies. $400 a snowman. That's our budget we're left with for 2023. But I kind of equivalent it to, I can do my own flooring at my house, but it would be much cheaper in the long run and better done if I pay a professional to do it. And that's kind of what I think about with the clear coat, is we want these snowies to last forever and be done well. And we know that Tivoli 2 does this, like that's part of their job. So they know exactly what they can do, they can get it done really fast, rather than us doing it on a volunteer basis when we can.
So, but it's $400 each for them to clear coat them?
Yes.
And then it seemed to me that the bigger expense was the transportation back and forth.
Which we don't have like an official
Which we,
cost on.
Yeah.
and we don't think it's actually that much, so.
Okay. Well, obviously something we can sort through next year as well. I mean, we're not going to make a decision about it tonight to try and spend the $1,000 that we have
No.
remaining in the budget.
Why not? Because I'm saying I'm just saying we got the 2 purchased, the 3, our city, and then the 2, right? And so that's technically 12.
Yo, you mean purchase clear coating for those?
No, as in Tivoli 2.
I don't think we can pre-order them
I
like
thought,
to clear coat. We can pre-order the statue, but the clear coating is a thing that we'd have to pay for at the time of them doing the clear coating.
Can we ask them if we can just slide them some money to have in our account?
I thought it was one
This
invoice.
is being recorded.
at the end, which would be like in May or whenever we're done with it. So we can't really prepay for that portion.
With all of the businesses in North St. Paul, is there not one that has a sprayer that could do this on a semi-professional basis?
You're potentially somebody like Burwald's or something.
I mean, yeah,
Likely.
yeah, and I have a sprayer,
Oh, you do?
yeah. I mean, but it's a, you know, and you can build a spray booth in an hour out of using some 2x2s and some plastic. You know, it's just not that big of a deal, I think.
I also agree with Amanda, if people are paying $5,000 for these, we want to make sure it's done right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we, I mean,
It's an investment. I mean, you want to.
So nevertheless, I mean, unless is there any way that we could use some of the money that we have remaining in the budget for 2023 to put toward that? Because if not, I mean, I think the big thing, we probably have to, you know, flesh out the details on costs for transportation and actual
Right.
stuff before we make too much of a fuss about it.
Next year's snowy budget is 2,500, was it?
3,000.
3,000?
And then that would be, so we would have to include, you know, the $400 for each snowy. So if we have 5 of them, that's 2,000 of that right there.
I know.
And then if there's delivery, so the costs that we had identified in there were delivery fees, signage, clear coat, programming.
We could. I guess there's nothing we can prepay for at this point.
Yeah. So we can work out the details in the coming year.
Yeah.
But, and maybe we just agree to keep all options on the table right now.
Yeah.
And we'll just see how it plays out. Because if it might cost us more than $3,000 to get them clear coated between the transportation and the clear coat itself. And there's other things that we want to make sure that we can pay for with that money, including the cost of whatever programming and like the,
Of course.
what do they call those little signs?
The
There was a name.
Vomelas.
The Vomela, yeah, right. That's a,
word of the year.
that's a great word. Vomela.
Well, and if we remember too, the cost of the snowies themselves did go up as well. So we were going to plan to cover some of that
Cover some of
also.
that. So we'll have to just kind of think about that, how we want to.
Can we go back and ask for more money for snow?
The answer is no,
We haven't certified technically.
but you'd have to pull it from somewhere else because we've already set the max limit, right? Can't be more than.
if Hart wants to start, wait, so you're gonna pay for them, right?
Yes, out of the money we've already collected from the 2 purchasers.
Because it's higher, we spend our $1,000 remaining on those snowies?
I think so. To offset the cost, the additional cost. Yeah, we can use some of that.
Extra cost with this $1,000, then that will reserve that $3,000 for next year for the clear coat or whatever we need to do. Once in a while.
How do you get that money though that comes from how do you get the $1,000? So basically,
Because we have $1,000 left in the Project Snowy budget for this year. You've collected $10,000 from the 2 businesses that want to pay. Let's say the cost for the 2 snowies then comes out to 11,000. Yeah, you have to use that other 1,000 in the snowy budget.
Yeah, so I'd have to code it separately when I get the invoice. That shouldn't be a problem. But I don't think that the snowies cost the full 5,000. Am I?
It's like 49.
Right.
oh no, because that's including the artist fee.
Yeah, that includes the stipend and all of that as well. So it's quite a bit lower than that.
Basically, whatever the total comes to,
Yeah.
are you able to use the $1,000 from here, even if it's less than 11,000, and reserve the remaining payment from the companies to be used at a later date?
I don't know for sure, but I can certainly find out.
Okay.
Kind of a shell game.
So should we make a motion that if she can, then spend it now? Because otherwise we lose it, right?
Yeah.
I'd
But-
like to move that we try to spend down the money.
Yeah, it just feels a little funny.
How so?
It's for the project.
If we're basically prepaying for the work being done. We're not, do we have to adhere to federal GAAP requirements? I can't imagine.
Another good question.
No,
I don't think so.
no. I mean, this is city funds, not, yeah. So I don't see, what's your concern, Tom?
My concern is that we're taking the money out of our budget to help kind of cover a cost, and then the money that we got is just effectively what we're saying is we want to put that money back into our budget next year. But the money that we're getting for the Snowies, is that actually going into the ACC budget itself, or is that going into a separate account from which it'll be pulled later to cover?
That's going into the general fund, then it gets pulled back out to
Right,
pay.
so what you would have to do then is take, some of the money out of the general fund to pay for the Snowies, along with $1,000 from the Arts Commission. Then you'd have to take some of the money that came in from the Snowies, $1,000, from the general fund and put that back into the ACC next year, outside of what the normal budget is for the ACC. So you're having to transfer from the general fund to the ACC budget. And,
Pretty much the same thing.
what?
Pretty much the same thing. It goes back into the general fund. The general fund accounts for the ACC's
Right.
budget, but it's technically still in that pot.
Right.
So the money that these companies paid aren't being held in a separate account? They just went straight to the general fund? Oh.
So I don't know. It's a question for whoever our finance director,
Finance, yeah. Yeah, I'll ask Dan.
Dan. Okay, so do we need to make a motion on that then? If you can, that we would use that money so that $1,000 would be in effect returned to us next year for the Project Snowy budget, which would effectively increase that budget from $3,000 to $4,000 next year.
Yes.
Okay?
I motion to spend the money. To spend the money.
To do what was just described. Okay?
Second.
Okay, moved by C, second by Carrie. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
You can vote against it, Tom.
I'm in favor if Dan says it's okay.
Right.
So, and, huh? I already did. Yeah.
So can we make an alternate plan then, if it's not approved, to spend that $1,000 on something else? Or is that just snowy money?
Well, we still have another 1,300 left in the budget for this year. too.
Yeah, and I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with letting that money just go back to the city. I mean, it's all of our money effectively, and it's okay if we don't have to spend it or it's gonna like go into the ether. It goes back to all of us. So it's okay to not spend it. Well, we could get Botox injections.
I'm on board
Why
with
not?
that.
If there's anything we've learned from our U.S. representatives, is that take whatever money you've got and spend it on yourself.
Tom
Okay.
is not serious. He's not buying Botox with some
Yeah.
money.
My OnlyFans account. Somebody, it's like, I thought that was a sports betting thing. I didn't know it was a. Has nobody followed the news? George Santos, right? Okay.
How can you keep up with all this stuff?
Okay, anything else as far as budget recap then, Sarah? Or
Not
anything
unless
else
there's,
from this
so,
group?
oh yeah, all I've heard tonight for sure for purchases are stickers and potentially using the $1,000 for Snowy. I just want to make sure there's really nothing else I think we're caught up on supplies for art card and paint nights. So I just want to make sure there's nothing else we want to last minute purchase, or are we good to move on to 2024?
When we purchased for the wood blocks and stickers for the stamps for our cart, I forgot to include ink pads.
Ink pads, okay.
So while there's no art cart monies, that would be needed at some point.
As far as the paint and sip, I'm thinking that the 48 tablecloths double that?
Yeah.
How many paint nights did we do this year?
Well, we didn't do very many, but if
Yeah,
the
I'm just,
plan is to get, I did 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
If the plan is if we can get someone, on a regular basis or multiple people. to
Right.
do them.
I wasn't questioning it, just curious.
So yeah, it was only 3.
Okay.
And then we did use them at the festival too. So, yeah, we are going through the tablecloth, so we can certainly do
I
that.
don't think it was only 3, Lisa. I think it was 3.
It was 3. My intention was to do them, I would have loved to do them every month, but realistically,
But also, we didn't have any budget for it this year, really, right? And it's a new thing, and it's just getting going. So I think it was, the fact that you did 3 of them is fantastic.
yeah, and I was very happy that the attendance every time kept growing. And with that being said, the last one, I know there were 5 people that had signed up that couldn't make it because something came up, so.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's a great start, and just one of the things that, that familiarity, I think, is if we keep doing it, just keep going, then more people, hey, have you heard about this thing? And then we get more people, and now that we've got some budget allocated for it, that we can, bring in different artists, and so it's a new experience, so people, no offense, Lisa, but people might say, well, this is the same person teaching me every time. Maybe it would be nice if there's somebody different and I'm learning a different style or approach or whatever.
Although I didn't have, repeat, only people, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
One more thought, I'm sorry.
yeah, please.
But for the arts festival, it was really nice. I think Jill brought her own hand carts or wheelbarrows or something. Would it behoove us to look at purchasing like a cart or something wheelie? Wagons? A wagon, thank you. Something like that, I don't know. Something wheelie? Something wheelie. Would that be helpful? I don't know.
Could be.
Like a collapsible one even, or something like that?
Yeah, I'm trying
A
to think of like
dolly,
this.
or like a,
Or a dolly or,
whatever, yeah.
cause I kind of feel bad Jill brought her own to the.
I do feel like a lot of artists should have their own. And hers was maybe extra and just beneficial on top of it. It was it was kind of her to bring it, and I'm sure you guys used them.
Oh, yeah.
But artists had their own too, right?
I didn't see many. It was really helpful to have those.
Okay.
We had a couple extra, those city ones too. There were a couple extra city ones. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, you need one of those, you've seen those things, it's like a big steel grate kind of wagon, kind of a flatbed thing with big tires.
Yes.
Yeah, those would be ideal. Yes, see?
We, Project Snowy would also like to ask about, so we've done a soft touch with the businesses, like going in person, handing them the mailers, but really just that and not, like doing too much of, discussion. And I know we can still have some reach out with Citizen Furlong, but wondering if we could, like purchase stamps to send out like mailers to do kind of like a reminder. I think that was always in the plan too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To send out like information about Project Snowy out to businesses, just so that they have the information again, and like maybe do a signature from City Council Long, or like ACC chair, like something like official, and they could kind of see that, oh, this is really like not just some weirdos coming to our businesses and asking for money, right? Like this is like something for the city, and that we're working on a project for the community. So thoughts?
I think we could do that. We have a mailing machine, so we don't have to buy stamps. We can just run it. I think it's like 63 cents a envelope or something.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Does a stamp cost 63 cents?
Separate account set up for the arts commission.
Yes. Yes. So I do think that's doable. How many would we be thinking of sending?
That was like 160, 200
But
businesses.
do we want to limit?
Oh, yes, that's right. We already like nixed some. So we just need to clean up that list.
Say 100.
130. I mean, just to be safe, right? Like, I can't remember.
Okay.
We
big
could
or go
do
home.
less. I mean, we could do less.
$1 or $82 in postage.
Yeah.
It's not super significant.
Would we have to consider costs for the mailers and envelopes themselves, or is that just considered general city fund kind of thing?
Like,
Everybody looks at me. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think it would just be general city. Maybe we have lots of envelopes.
Okay.
Would this letter be something that you guys would type up, put together, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we can certainly do that. So we would probably, I would say, just to be safe, vote on $100 worth of postage, if that's what
Okay.
we want to do.
All those in favor in setting aside $100 of our remaining budget to postage for updates to local businesses regarding Project Snowy? Entertain a motion to approve.
I'd like to motion for purchase of stamps for Project Snowy.
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. $100 for stamps.
Thank you.
I would like to go back to, on the ink pads and the tablecloths, so we need a vote motion on that too. I would say with the tablecloths, that was about $72 for all of them we bought. I don't know how much the ink pads would be, but,
$50.
so I was gonna say,
$200.
$200
That
for
can come out of
those,
the art installation
if we're okay.
line item or wherever we need to take it, but all of this remaining would probably be coming out of the art installation remainder. So those in favor of reserving up to $200 for the purchase of tablecloths and something else for the art cart,
Ink pads.
ink pads. Entertain a motion to approve that. So moved. Carrie,
Seconded.
second. Amanda, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, there's another $200. Botox? Got about $1,000 left. Getting to a lot of creases. Okay. Anything else? All right, old business, anything? Okay, so reports from staff, and Sarah, you had some information on research on city-funded murals.
I do. So I went back and was looking through some old notes from before I came, and Lisa was the secretary of the commission. And I noticed a lot of discussion about working with private businesses on having murals. And I think that is a wonderful idea. I know you guys spoke with Loves and kind of started going down that path. I think, and Brandy, Community Development Director, agrees this is a great thing and something we should tackle
Oh, good.
moving forward. I think after Project Snowy's done, this is going to be something that we could do. So I wanted to make that suggestion. I did my own research, which I know you guys probably already have done on your own too, but that's what this is on this page, is the research that I started to do, looking at other cities, where they're getting their funding from for these types of projects and their involvement in the project along with the businesses. It really varied. So when I talked to Brandy about this, her suggestion was we start planning to have this be a project we really dive into in 2025 if we're interested. That way we can spend whatever amount of time in 2024 really coming up with a detailed plan. She specifically referenced C's plan that she made for Project Snowy, and she loves that plan. And thought you answered so many questions, and the group did, that it was easy to present to council. And so coming up with a detailed plan and then coming up with a budget for 2025. So I wanted to present this tonight, and there's no action to be done with this or anything. I just wanted to bring it up again and see if it's something we would consider potentially starting on and maybe having a subcommittee work on something like this moving forward.
So, yes, from my perspective, we would want to do that, but at the same time, we have potentially $12,000 allocated for a mural project next year.
Yes.
Would we potentially use any of that money to help fund a private mural?
Yes, absolutely. I think Brandy's concern was that we don't really have a concrete plan on how we would execute that. If we come up with that, absolutely, we could use
Okay.
that money towards that.
Concern, excuse me, our concern was, are there any legalities behind using city funds on?
She was not aware of any, and I had asked her that, and she said as long as the city is participating in artist selection or being a part of the process, there shouldn't be any legal issues with it.
And can you just double check with Dan then?
Yep.
Finance director, just to cover our bases?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd also like to throw out that Fallen Angel Tattoo would like to do a mural on their building as well.
Well, you think they would be very capable of doing that themselves, right?
Yes, and that's something they consider.
Artists, yeah.
Yep, but I know that they're thinking of doing a mural, and
Cool.
They're ready.
So are you?
Exchange can help to paint the mural and they can do tattoos on us.
I have
Yeah.
one from them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good. Any other details you want to offer about that?
It's a loon.
A loon, okay, yeah.
Matching ACC tattoo.
Yeah, right.
I think a big one to consider too for 2025, because it would take so much more budget, is that wall on, by Burwald's, by Public Works. That's
Yeah.
always tagged.
Yeah,
Everybody brings that up in City Hall, that something needs to be done with it, but that's going to take more than the budget we have for this year. So that would be really great to see something in 2025 for that.
What about,
People are requesting it.
Yeah.
yeah, what about that right in front of, or behind the windmill on that, the
is
Public
is
Works.
that the same one we're talking about?
Oh, is that?
That one too.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a really long,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the Burwell building.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
The more you know.
thanks, C.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm sure we can start to put together a plan.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm sure we can get something done without having to take the full year in order to
Absolutely.
do something.
Yes.
Reports from commissioners, walking with the snowman, Carrie, do you want to start?
Yeah, and this was just a little cute article I saw that they are doing in London, so I think we should take a field trip with some. of the
Yes.
budget. Check it out and see if we can learn.
Professional development funds.
I just thought it was so cute, little art trail.
I think with what's left in the budget, you could get at least one round-trip ticket to London. You're welcome.
I wanted to include that too, because when you sent that, I thought that's cute and definitely inspiration for when we have our snowies and we can create a walking trail or something like that
Yeah.
too. It was really great.
And look at the awesome designs on these things, too. Really cool. So I hope we get some good artist submissions. So if you're an artist out there and you want to paint a snow person, get those ideas going and look at some of these ideas for inspiration, because these are cool ideas. I have seen some of these statues where, like, you know, there's a Sparky one that, I don't know, was it just somewhere, St. Paul in general? But then there's Sparky, and some of them are like, that's it? That was your idea?
If you're driving east on 36, past 694.
Yeah, there's.
There is one snowman over there.
Yeah.
That's where our mold came from.
That is Randy Crispin's snowman, and he is the originator of the snowman mold.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Where did he get his painted?
He does it himself, I think.
Can he submit an artist application?
Would he like to?
Yeah.
He repaints it all the time.
Okay, Carrie, since we were on you, any other reports from you?
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Happy New Year.
Lisa Ritchie,
I'm good.
anything? Stacy?
None, no reports. Thank you.
C?
No real reports, but I wanted to make a comment.
Okay.
So kind of like off of my trip, and that therefore that's why I was gone and not at the last meeting, for the record, is but you know, like from there I felt like I had a lot of inspiration as far as like seeing how like a city does it right with like making things beautiful. So like South Korea specifically, like how much they place, you know, like importance on beauty and like like in art, I should say, you know, like and aesthetics and, you know, like drawing and like how it then like plays into like drawing people to areas, you know, like there was a story about like cafes, you know, like there's hundreds of cafes, but the ones who make it are the ones that are the most Instagrammable, right? And so kind of thinking about the city, you know, like we can still put in so much more effort to, you know, like attract, build, and, you know, like make North St. Paul a better place by continuing to add more of this art and beauty and drawing people to it. So, yeah, Instagrammable, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I bet in Japan, too. You went to Japan also?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
I'd love to
And-
see Japan sometime.
So that leads me to a question on the initiative for the downtown, not cafes, but with where the business owners were allowed to, what's that? Beautification project? No, just the outdoor eating. Seating
Oh,
and
yeah,
eating.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Whatever happened with that?
It's available. It's
Okay.
It's yeah. Businesses. I think Roddy's had theirs out. But yeah, it's available for businesses to participate in.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just maybe hopefully it grows more and more.
And I want to think, you know, just thinking about that, I couldn't agree more, see. I think that we didn't do anything as far as like art installations or anything like that this time, but, you know, so many towns when you travel around have just, you know, sculptures all over. They're really interesting.
Minneapolis.
So much of it is functional. You know, it's functional art, which
Yeah.
I think is so, we always, I don't know, it feels like those have to be mutually exclusive, but they don't. I love that.
Agreed. So yeah, more things. I mean, I love it, and I to that point. I mean, the work that you've been doing, the work that this commission has been doing, has been helping in that way. I mean, starting to make things more interesting and more Instagrammable and all that stuff. And I think we're only just getting started. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Amanda, anything?
I have no comments.
Okay, well, I would, for myself, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I appreciate all the time, effort, and energy, blood, sweat, and tears that you put into the work of this commission. It's a fun commission. It's I enjoy coming here. I enjoy working with you, and I really think we're doing good things for the city. And I look forward to us doing a lot more in the future. So thanks for everything that you do. This was a big year. Everyone kept telling us to slow down and don't try and do too much, but we got it all done. So there, we're not going to slow down. We want to go faster. No, but we've built a really strong foundation. So we're able to move faster. You got to go slow to go fast sometimes. And I think we took our time. Stacy and Carrie, who have been here from the beginning, and Lisa, you were here from the beginning with us, and Lisa also. But you saw that kind of grunt work that went into pouring the footings for this house, and so that was a lot of that going slow to go fast work that had to happen. And now I think we've hit our stride, and I think we can. I'm really excited to just kind of keep going with this and see what comes up next year. And I want to also thank Lisa Wong and the City Council for your support. I mean, the budget we requested is more than double And it sounds like we got it, right?
We will certify in the next meeting, but there wasn't anything that would indicate that that was not.
Yeah, so that's a big deal, and I think that's showing the council's faith and trust in us to keep this thing going and to let it grow and do more and bring more art and vibrancy to the city, like you're mentioning, like seeing more of that, like we're intentionally trying to beautify our surroundings and bring more people in and bring more attention to North St. Paul. We're about more than just a giant snowman, right? There's more going on here. And there's a lot of interesting people here. And I think we can start to reflect that in the artistic and cultural things that we do. So just want to express my appreciation to everybody. And Sarah Lang, you're dynamite. You've been just awesome. So you've been absolutely fantastic, and we wouldn't be able to do all this without you. So really appreciate all the work that you've done as well. Thanks so much.
Tom, thanks for your leadership this year and for all the joke cracking.
Jo-
It's a lot of fun.
Lisa Wong loves it.
I know.
But also just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Merry New Year. Wait,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And any other way that you wish to celebrate or not, but I hope everyone can just find some time to spend with your loved ones and relax and enjoy the season. So that's all I have gotten, so now I will hand it over to our council liaison.
Well said. But yeah, same. Just really proud of this group because I've been here only 3 years, but this has come to fruition already, and the community is engaged. People are paying attention. I think you're already seeing it this year. This is exciting. Even Sarah sees it in City Hall. So that's exactly the joy that we want to bring to town. So you all have put in a lot. So you should be really, really proud and really honored to work alongside you all. And Sarah too, you definitely do a lot to keep everything going while everyone else is working and doing their job too. Yeah, I think, a lot has happened in the last month. I'll start off with mostly the budget, and then I'll take any questions from there. So in regards to the budget, last night we had a meeting, Truth and Taxation, and basically we went over what probably the top levy will be, and we're looking at about 8.5%, which falls below the median in our area. So we're doing pretty good there. I think White Bear Lake was like 23%. I mean, we're doing pretty good. Yeah, and so I think the school district was about 30, and the county was about 30. So that's kind of what it comes down to. That means hiring as it stands now, hiring an inspector or an investigator, sorry, and then increasing the funds, the salary or the pay for our firefighters who are on call. So it's a little bit more on par with the region. So staying competitive. Yeah, so, I mean, there's just been a lot, and it's, yeah, I don't know what else to say about the budget, but, or whatever, yeah. It's been a long couple of weeks, so, yeah.
Bet you're glad you're not on the White Bear Lake Council right now. Anything else?
Let's see. There's a lot. I mean, there's really a lot. We've gone through so many different policies. So there's, anything from the mailbox policy. So if a snowplow comes and hits your mailbox, the city will help you a little bit with that and, compensate and contribute to that. So now you know.
I will say one of the biggest things that I had to deal with in my previous position is when the snow gets really wet and heavy, and it's not actually, I think what needed to be clarified is it has to be physical contact with, from the plow hitting the mailbox. And I know there were a number of residents that weren't happy when they were told that, it was the snow. So I don't know what your new policy is going to be, but
I believe it's the same. So yeah, thank you for emphasizing that. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. We've also had some proposals for development. So we have had an RFP go out, and so I think in January we'll be having a presentation from these developers for the 17th and Delaware property over on the north side of town.
And a Taco Bell coming, right?
And a Taco Bell.
How about that?
Yep. So it's kind of next to the Ideal Credit Union where that Oil Can Henry is. So yeah, that's been approved, and high schoolers will have Taco Bell.
Nice.
It's a dream.
And then somebody's going to want to open a dispensary right next to it with the,
And then a park rental policy. And then we also updated the park rental policy as well. And then with that, we've talked a little bit about just process about having renters, and then just making sure that things are cared for, and just kind of trying to balance that, because, when renters, that's just a part of the rental business. It's just gonna, wear things down. So, yeah, so we created a little bit more emphasis on making sure that there's a little bit more accountability and education. I will also say, let's see. Sorry, I'm just all over the place. I'll also say that there is one situation where we have a bunch of grants coming too. So with that Taco Bell, right on 11th Street, we're going to have a new sidewalk, or maybe a trail, on the north side of 11th from Ariel. So we put in a new sidewalk there.
yeah.
And then from Ariel, go down to 11th to McKnight. So we're going to have more transportation there. And then Ramsey County is looking at McKnight from, I think, up to Beam from 36. And so they're looking at what that road might be. We also see the Purple Line being explored on White Bear. So we can see a little bit more attention around transportation and pedestrian access and bikes around town. So looking forward to that. And we got some grants, lots of grants. I'm like the grant lady, so. And then I'll say that we also have a lot of street maintenance coming too, so that's really a part of the budget, is being able to compensate for that. And we also got a grant called Towards Zero Death. That was with the police department. And I'll also say that there was some questioning that I had in regards to some of the traffic safety practices. And that was due to just information that I saw in a packet. So if you'd like, you can watch that video, but there are some questions that I think we need to be asking to get some answers around why, someone has 2 priors and is speeding, 78 and a 35, and getting a verbal warning,
Oh, my.
and is a Ramsey County Correctional Officer. So I do have questions around that, and I'll continue asking that, but just to also mention that as well. I'll also add in, let's see. The student-built housing too, that's going really well. That's pretty much a primary project of the HRA. So we're looking to identify 2 more spots, or a couple spots, for new buildings. And so, really excited for that. They have posted the one that just, finished, and that's available for $499,999. Yeah.
Where are those?
On Eldridge Street.
It's 2172 Eldridge, if
Thank
you.
you, thank you. I can't remember. Yeah. So there's certainly a lot happening. Everyone is really busy. Public Works is just about to start their snow plowing all night, and there's just been a lot going on. Lots of DWIs in town. A lot of those as well. So that's just something that's being observed and being cared for, taken care of.
Has the Public Works in North St. Paul ever considered having a plow naming contest?
I was thinking about that, and what do you think Ron would think?
A plow naming contest? Oh, he'd be
Like
on board.
MnDOT does.
I would think. Oh, yeah, he's always up for a good time.
Oh, wait a minute.
Boy, isn't he?
Okay.
We need to, can I
Sarah,
change the subject here? to
Maybe
ask
Brian can, I'll talk to Brian about that.
And I'll be coming over to Ron's house tonight.
Can I ask a question on the sidewalk?
Yeah?
Is that a definite go that we are getting those, or is that something that's being discussed?
Is that for the on 11th Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sidewalk, we received the grant. It's the active transportation grant through the Met Council.
Okay.
And so it's for a sidewalk. It could be maybe even a trail or a bike lane. They have to kind of assess the land and things like that, but it is designated a sidewalk.
Okay. The reason I ask, and maybe were you on the city council at the time, just putting on my citizen's hat now, the concern of the city being liable, wasn't there a big lawsuit? When
For
you-
like a slippery sidewalk or something?
Yeah, somebody, well, what was it? Yeah, and I'm assuming that the city would maintain those then, right, on a regular basis, so it would be our
On
liability?
11th, yeah.
Okay,
'Cause
so
there
if
aren't
it
any
was a
houses there, and it's
sidewalk.
alongside the,
Or maybe it was just a
Environmental
constant
Center.
complaint about a sidewalk that wasn't,
Could be. I think if I remember correctly from talking to our city attorney, that liability we don't have a real high liability on those things. It's like making good faith efforts to remove snow and something like that. And if somebody slips on a sidewalk in front of your house, I mean, you're responsible for maintaining the sidewalk, but
Yeah.
you got to be really negligent for that to be something where you would actually be held liable for. Because, you can shovel snow melts, drains over the sidewalk, turns into ice. You can't be responsible for 24/7 maintenance of a sidewalk and
Okay.
and removing all that. So I think the law is pretty lenient on that.
Okay, I just thought that there was a lawsuit previously, and I don't know what the outcome.
There probably was, yeah. I mean, people sue for everything. so.
Okay, yep, nope, that's just my 2 cents.
But yeah, it looks like this, the funding will cover the entire sidewalk, which is like $500,000 almost. So that's a great way to bring back money into our community. So really grateful for those grants. And I will stop there. And if anyone has questions, I'll try to answer them.
Just a comment. Just that, thank you, Councilwoman Wong, for that report. You know, like, it just makes me think about, like, what do we want our city to be like? And, you know, like, and so that we can, you know, like, so that we purposefully, you know, create codes or, you know, things to support what we want our city to be. Wow, I might be late in the night. I hope that made sense. I'm sorry.
I think it does, future council member. All of this is about, you know, what kind of city do we want? And, you know, there's 13,000 people in the city, and we all have different ideas about what that is. You know, and everybody sitting in here tonight is kind of like-minded in certain ways as far as what we want our city to be like. Sidewalks, that's another story. Just gets a lot of people riled up. But I think, I want our city to be safe and walkable. I want,
Well lit.
well lit, yes. But there are other people who think the roads are just as good as sidewalks as the sidewalk is. I don't agree with that, but, there's, we have a whole comprehensive plan and long-term plan for the city with the network of sidewalks that we look at, where we would be desirous of having sidewalks in the future. And then we hope that as each of these road reconstruction areas come up where there is a piece of that network of sidewalks, that the council follows through and puts those sidewalks in. But it doesn't always happen because there's a lot of pushback, because a lot of people don't like those things, but you never know. So, but it's, that's why you get involved, is because you want things to be more like the way you want them, right? And, at the end of the day, the benefits go to the people who show up, and you're showing up.
So join the Arts and Culture Commission.
There you go.
And speak about sidewalks.
That, you can run for council or planning commission. Yeah.
I think the Planning Commission's actually full.
Is it? Good. Wow.
Yeah, but maybe some openings with the EDA starting next year.
And we have
And we have two,
2 openings here.
which we're going to start advertising for tomorrow.
Good. Yeah, so, and that said, anything else, Lisa, or anybody have anything else for Lisa? So that said, I would just say, let's look forward to a big year in 2024. I think it's going to be our best year yet. So we're ready to hit the ground running. We've already got a lot of stuff we got to talk about. We're going to launch Snowy. We're going to get more utility boxes done. We're going to get some awesome murals done in the city. We're going to have sip and weld and sip and sculpt and sip and paint and whatever. And we're going to have the art cart, and we're going to have lots of things going on. But it's we're getting better and better at this, so it's going to be easier and easier for us. And we're just making more things available for the people in North St. Paul. So that's kind of the big thing, We're doing it for the community. So thanks for everything that you have done, that you continue to do, and let's get riled up for 2024.
Speaking of 2024, I have one more thing. I was looking at the calendar because I got approved last night for our meetings for next year. We are scheduled to have one of our meetings on July 3rd. I wanted to just throw this out here if we want to discuss moving that, canceling that meeting,
Well,
or if we want to keep
probably-
it.
What do we do for January 1st? No, well, that might not be on a Wednesday.
Yes,
Never mind. It's not, is it?
yes.
January 3rd, okay. Yeah,
I mean, we can move it a week. July 10th is available to have
Yeah.
a meeting, so if we think that would be good for everybody.
getting way ahead of things, yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll change that then. Perfect.
Cool. If there's nothing else, then we'll say goodbye to 2023 and adjourn the meeting at 7:55. All those in favor? Or wait, we need a motion to adjourn.
I'm going to motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second? Oh, thank you, Stacy. Second? See, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. It's still, I think, 7:55. 7:56.